Good scene here in Deutschland. It is, of course, in Germany at the Hockenheim Ring. One of the tracks that has been removed from the calendar for real life F1 next season. Absolutely disgraceful decision, I think, by Liberty Media to get rid of this track. What an awesome race it was in F1 2019 in real life. And of course, Brazil qualifying taking place. Currently, there will be no spoilers from me, sadly, on the stream here tonight. But I can guarantee you that there's going to be 18 minutes worth of qualifying and a 50% race here in Germany, so you guys can actually look forward to. And good evening, of course, I'm James Head. I'm going to be commentating through the action here tonight for, as always, Division 1 of League of Europe. Can't wait for the action to unfold out on track. There are coming into the standings, of course, there's no championship battle for the win of the championship. Montana has already taken it. He's on 308 points after his win in America last week. Waluigi in second, though, on 117 points, maintained that second place from his second place in Britain, of course, where he took that. He's 191 points behind, but he's on 117 points and he's in second. Rafa in third on 108 points, of course, a retired driver this season. Neo in fourth currently on 90 points. So the Racing Point driver has got, I make it 27 points to catch on Waluigi. Can possibly be done slightly tonight if Waluigi doesn't finish and Neo does, and he wins the race and he picks up the fastest lap. He'll be a point short of Waluigi if that happens. There is the scenario for second place, really. Cantera in fifth on 85 points, a good result from him. Sixth place last time out in America. Harrison David, another recently retired driver, don't have to go into him. Daka in seventh, who hasn't been attending a few of the races recently. He is back though here tonight, which I'm very glad to see. The Mercedes driver is currently in seventh place on 76 points. Juman 8th on 69 points, followed by YHYY on 67, and Bullet Boy, who's not racing tonight, on 64 points. The rest of the field is as follows: Sterling in 11th, Messina in 12th, Xjarry in 13th. Xjarry, if I can just read my graphics slightly. I do believe that Xjarry is on 48 points. And then we've got Larkin in 15th as well. So that's just a bit of a gathering of how the standings actually look coming into tonight. Of course, we are here in Germany. Real life qualifying going around in Brazil. There are rumours circulating there out on track in Brazil that Max Verstappen does have a picture of Esteban Ocon in his car just for anger purposes alone. That's all I'm going to ruin here tonight. Apparently that is a rumour circulating by one Matt Gallagher on Twitter that I read just before coming live, actually, so a little bit of humour for that. Of course, we are at the Hockenheim Ring, a track that has been removed from the calendar of F1 next season. 22 races, of course, taking place next season in real life Formula 1. 17 corners for the drivers to really task themselves with here tonight. There are quite a few tricky corners out on track. 2 DRS zones, one after turn 1, flat right-hander. You do tend to lose the back end there, as Leclerc proved in 2018 with his 360 degree spin and recovery. And also on the main back straight, you could call it, between turns 4 and turn 6, which is down through Parabolica and then into the hairpin. That is where the other DRS zone is. So there's 2 DRS zones out on track. Again, very tricky corners out on track. Sachs Curve. Now, this turn 13, Sachs Curve, famously where Vettel, of course, went off last year in Formula 1, or this year in Formula 1. It was last year in Formula 1. He went off there. If you get caught, if drivers take too much of the curb on the inside at Sachs Curve, you will tend to see a spinner or two there. I have seen it before. I've seen people take the inside of the curb so much that they spin around, and it causes a Constantino effect, especially if it is on lap 1 out of 36 that we'll be having here tonight. So, of course, the race can't be won on lap 1, and certainly the race cannot be won until you cross the line come lap 36. So this is going to be a really interesting race, as I say. Hockenheimring, 15 drivers here tonight. A bit of a down on attendance, really, in terms of thingy. People are watching qualifying and sort of, well, people are out for dinners, like Bullet Boy. We wish him well, of course. We're good to see Killer Blue back, actually. Killer Blue is back. Kooky Games is back as well, which is good to see. Hopefully he can really get some points on the board. Let's hope Kooky Games can get some points on the board. Really think it'll be competitive. We are starting a little bit early, by my reckoning. We are starting about a minute early, but a minute early is what it is going to be, and we are going to get going, as I say, for 18 minutes worth of qualifying, and indeed that 50% race, which I do believe, as I say, is 36 laps around here. Oh, now you will have to bear with me. I have got a bit of flu tonight. I've been sneezing just before coming live. So I apologise if I sound a bit croaky or anything like that, or I need to take a drink or anything like that. So I do apologise about that. I'm not 100%, but I'm here, which is the main thing. Of course, we are in Division 1. I'm going to check the comments, see how you guys are doing tonight. Let's have a look then and see. Of course, Division 3, having that battle going on. You don't want to hear me... You don't want to hear me going on again in the stream in the background. Good evening to Mark tuning in. Good evening to Montana, and good evening to Larkin as well. And Mark coming in there and saying, "Preach on Germany, fantastic track." Yeah, fantastic track indeed. If it proves anything to be like this year's real life Grand Prix here in Germany, it will be fantastic. It's going to be one to watch, and possibly we're going to see a lot of overtakes in a short space of time here tonight, which is great to see. Now, there is going to be a bit of change in the strategy, I think, for qualifying here. There are going to be drivers going out on soft compound of tyres, which are the softest compound of tyres, as I say. The cars are better to come out on track now. And I have a feeling who's first out on track it is. It's Montana out on track. Our defending champion now, you could call him, with 4 races to go, including this one. Germany, of course, tonight. And then we go to... somewhere. We go to somewhere next week, and then we go to Belgium. I think it's Abu Dhabi next week. Then we go to Belgium, and then we go to Brazil to end off the season. So only 4 races left. And Division 1 has gone so quick. My debut season really in League of Europe has gone quite well, I think. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed the commentaries throughout the weeks and throughout the months that I've been here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing changes to my schedule. I will be here for another season, which is going to be fantastic indeed. But as I was saying about these strategies, soft compound tyres, mediums and hards are the 3 available tonight. Going to see Montana just coming through the right-hander. Now into Sachs curve. That left 10 just to lose the car slightly, especially on the back end, as Montana now comes through to start a lap. And hopefully my connection is fine, because I can see a little bit of lag on my end, possibly. Montana running down towards turn 1. Yellow flag in sector 3, don't worry about that. Beautiful through turn 1 there from Montana, our current champion, of course. Down into turn 2, and towards the end of a very, very short first sector. Through turn 3, then into turn 4, which is the Parabolica, and then through turn 5. Kooky Games has retired from the session already, which is a shame. The Kooky Games has retired that probably through turn 1, I would imagine that would have been. He's lost the back end and he's gone crashing into the wall, I would imagine there. So the Slovenian driver, the Red Bull, already out of the session. Montana through the hairpin very nicely indeed. On the run down towards turn 7 and then into turn 8, which is the Mercedes-Benz Grandstand section here, through the stadium section you could call it. Montana now through 9 and 10, then into 11, and then up to turn 12 at Sachs curve at the end of the middle sector, 50 flat from Montana. Of course, not saying the timing screens are like currently. The middle sector just far away off. He's not on a set of soft compound of tyres or anything like that, so don't write home about this. He just loses the back end through there slightly. Montana looking good through there. 3 minutes already gone. To 1:12.5, so very nice lap time there. Have we got engine sound? Yeah, we do have engine sound. Larkin goes 2/10 off him with a 1:12.7. The brick flag right in the background there, I've shot. There's quite a lot of lag going on. Now, I don't know if this is the stream possibly, or if this is something else. I am just going to move things around, so I do apologise if I go a little bit inactive for a while. I'm just going to move things around because I have a feeling it might be on my end. The connection is happening. There we go. I've just moved my PS4 a little bit. Verstappen has gone third with a 12.775 for Verstappen. QVR doing very well in the mini league, of course. And if you didn't tune into that, go and catch it up because it was fantastic. Now, to address those rumours, yeah, mini league has not ended, but we're hoped to be running one after the new year. I think that is the plan. That's all I can gather, really. Rick coming across the line, our lobby host, of course, 114.4 for the Finn. He's opting for a set of soft compound of tyres. Most of the guys already, as I say, going out on a set of hard compound of tyres. V5HRL across the line with a 113.6. And of course, V5HRL currently leads the championship in GT Sport on Wednesdays. If you didn't tune in to that, Mount Panorama, you have the glorious privilege of me commentating for that. Go and watch that back after this as well. It'll probably be better than Brazilian qualifying, I've got to admit. Gary Donegan now running through the first sector. He's on a lap, so let's ride on board with the Irishman. And let's see, very high revs. Oh, we've got the high revving glitch on them, which is going to be a pain for you guys. I'm going to try and talk over it as much as possible. Gary Donegan now down through turn 7, the flat pink at turn 7, and then into turn 8, of course, at Mercedes. Coming through there nicely. Do apologise if it's ruining anybody's ears, this, but just trying to pick up on a lap. This is looking like around Montana sort of area. Yeah, 50.2. This is going to look like Larkin, Verstappen. Malvigi, by the way, has gone 4th. The current placed second in the standings has gone 4th out on track with a 112.9. Very nice lap there by the Belgian Gary Donegan. Now through the final couple of corners, just takes a little bit too much curve, tries to get the apex at the final corner. You can invalidate that in time trial, I found out earlier on. It's a 113 flat, so it just goes behind his teammate there, Gary Donegan. Very nice lap indeed. Looks like Daka might be on a down lap here, the Scotsman. 4/10 down in the middle sector. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. So Daka is into the pits. Good to see him back though after his absence. Killer Blue was on a lap in the meantime. 15.9 is last lap, and he's already quicker by 1.1 seconds coming through the middle sector, and now into Sachs Curve once again at turn 12. So my voice starts to go already. Killer Blue, then the Brit through 13, 14, 15, and then into 16, and then into 17. The exit of the final corner just runs a little bit over the curb. Come across the line, goes 7th with a 13.3. That's more like it from Killer Blue. 2.6 second improvement there. He'll be happy with that. And of course, it's still 7 minutes worth in qualifying. The two Renaults, as per usual, giving a lot of slipstream. I'm opposed to that, to be honest, within slipstream. But then again, if people want to do that, then it's fine by me, I guess. Cantera just getting the slipstream off his teammate Doom. Doom is on a set soft compound of tyres, looking at my graphic. YHYY has just gone third with the 112.7, and it is 9 thousandths actually separating Larkin, YHYY and Verstappen. Cantera, oh, and Rick has left the session. Rick has left the session, which means we've now got, I don't know who the host is, so it could be me. I hope not. I think it might be YHYY possibly. Cantera was faster than Montana through the middle sector. Let's see how he's getting on. Larkin goes quickest, 112.3. Cantera through the final corner. Does he improve? Yes, he does, 12.1. So we're seeing the times now really start to fall. Spiner's on a lap in the meantime. The other Swiss man, of course, teaming up with Montana as part of the Swiss Revolution, really, here in Division 1. And Spine coming through the final couple of corners. This is looking very quick, I've got to say, from Spine. I think he could go second with this, and he does. 112.320, so about 600 quicker than Larkin there. Spine goes second, ahead of Larkin. Neo is on a lap. That was Cantera by mistake. Neo's on a lap, so let's have a focus on the German. I will try and get through everyone here in qualifying at some point. Rick has joined the session, luckily. Montana goes quickest by only 5 thousandths of a second. 112.1 there for the Swiss man. Drivers may opt to go for the soft compound tyres, may even go to opt for the medium compound tyres, so just keep an eye out on this. Neo is not on a lap, it looks like. He's just preparing for one, actually, so we'll ride on board with this through the final corner. German across the line, of course, one of the home boys here tonight just might have invalidated through turn 1, but that was a lovely exit through turn 1 if he hasn't invalidated. Now coming towards turn 2 and towards the end of sector 1 through turn 3. Looking very nice there. 2.4 seconds up, 15.7 through the first sector. I'm just trying to pick up on who's gone quicker there. Joom has gone into 5th with a 1:12.4. That's who went up there. So Joom into 5th, the other Spaniard with a 1:12.4. Both Reynolds looking quite competitive here tonight, which is good to see. We're nearly halfway through qualifying. Montana leads, Cantera second, Spine in third, separated by roughly just under 2/10 out on track. We're on board though with Neo, who's coming through the Mercedes-Benz grandstand section through turn 8, 9, 10 and then into 11, which will be this right-hander coming up. 49.6 through the middle sector. This is looking very quick. Remember, Cantera was a 49.8 when we were on board with him. Neo 49.6, so in theory he'll be 2/10 quicker and might be the first one into the 111s here. Neo through the final corners then, through 16 and then into 17, just attacks that a little bit too much, but coming across the line now, oh, it's a 12 flat. He invalidated, I think, very late on there. It's a nice lap. He would have gone into provisional pole. Very nice lap, and I've got to say, the top 9 are separated by less than a second here out on track. Rick has joined back, which is good to see. Got Dakar on a lap in the meantime. Scotsman through the final corner. He looks like he's going to go up to 6th. Yeah, 12.5 there from Dakar. Nice lap from the Scotsman. Good to see him back, as I say. And a welcome return, I've got to say, for him. Neo is 300 down the first sector. Looks like he's backed off this. There's quite a few drivers out on out laps. We'll go on board with V5 HRL. That's not what you like to see through the final corner, and that is not how you do the final corner. Just riding a little bit too much curb there. Got caught, I think, on the sausage curbs on the outside. It sent the car round, and that's why you've seen V5 HRL actually lose a bit of end plate there. His left side end plate has gone with the contact with the wall. So unlucky. Not really a commentator's curse, but anyways, V5 HRL is pretty much out of that lap anyways. We'll go on board then. Who was coming through the first sector? Was it Rick by any chance? No, it's somebody. Somebody's just behind V5 HRL out on a lap. It might be Spine actually. Let's just have a look. That might be Spine on an out lap just behind him. I'm just trying to, yeah, that is Spine on an out lap. So we'll go on board then with Rick, who is coming through the first sector. 16 flat through the first sector for Rick. Of course, they have just changed the sector 1 split actually, just slightly. They've upped it by about 100 metres actually on the track here, so it is a bit different. But Rick through the hairpin now at turn 5, looking very nice there indeed. Through turn 6, I should say. Now through into 7 and 8. Yellow flags in sector 2 and sector 3. I have a feeling somebody's probably binned it in the gravel there at turn 11. Another one of those turns I can catch her out here at the Hockenheim ring. Rick through the middle sector, looking very nice through the middle sector. Not as quick as what we've seen, but 50.3 through the middle sector. Now through there. Might have actually been somebody on an outlap that was getting out of the way, possibly with those yellow flags. They have receded though for the meantime. Rick through into 13, 14, 15 and then into 16. This double right-handed complex through 16 and then into 17. Again, just ran a little bit too much curb there. Comes across the line with hardly any ERS. It is not an invalidated lap, and it's a 13.4, so he's about 3/10 off Montana there, who is on a lap, and he's on a set of mediums, but I don't think he's on a lap here at all. Yeah, he's invalidated somewhere out on track. So we'll go on board with Spine then. Spine, the other Swiss man, coming through the middle sector, through the hairpin he goes, on a set of medium compound of tyres. Doesn't up to go up the ERS, again might have invalidated this. We'll keep on board with him though, just in case. Larkin has just came out of the pits as well on an out lap. Spine through the middle sector then, on a set of medium compound of tyres. Very fragrant yellow wall compound of tyres, of course. Yeah, Spine not on the lap here, so we'll go on board then with, we're going to go on board with Montana. Montana's came into the pits. Shall we go back on board with Spine? Yeah, let's do so. Let's go back on board with Spine. It's difficult because there's quite a few drivers in the pits and there's quite a few on out laps, so I don't really want to pick anybody out that's on an out lap and then talk about them just for them to invalidate going down into turn 1. It's not like me at all. Rick is not on a lap. He's on a down lap. Neo is on a lap. Oh, Larkin is on a lap now. Through turn 1 he goes. Very nice exit there through turn 1. We're right on board with this. Larkin now down towards turns 2, 3 and 4. Coming towards the end of the first sector now. Larkin through the first sector. 15.7. 500's up on his time currently. He should go provisional pole with this lap. In theory, you would think. About 7 or 8 tenths improvement per tyre here. So hards to mediums is about 7 or 8 tenths, and then to softs it's about 7 or 8 tenths. It can be a bit less, it can be about 4 or 5 tenths on occasion, just depends on the track temperature out on track. Larkin through turn 8 at the Mercedes-Benz complex, through 9 and 10, looking very nice there indeed. This is the fastest middle sector we've seen so far, 49.7 through the middle sector. This in theory should be provisional pole for Larkin on a set of medium compounder tyres. 4 minutes ago, Montana, Cantera, Spine, but I think they're going to be knocked down with this lap. Oh, and I was going to say he's going to be knocked down with this lap. He's just made a mistake. Larkin, not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if he rode the curb a little bit too much and got caught in the grass. That was a bit of a strange one. The camera angle really didn't give that away. Larkin across the line goes 4th with that lap. Of course, not on a lap there. Gary Donegan is on a lap in the meantime. We'll have him right on board with Neo, who's just ahead of him out on track. So we'll go Neo, Gary Donegan, and then Verstappen with this. Neo, 6 seconds up. This is looking very good for Neo through the middle sector, and I think he's just invalidated. Neil's just invalidated. What is it with me going on board with drivers here tonight and they invalidate? It's just typical bad luck I'm giving the drivers here out on track tonight. Neo is preparing for that lap. Gary Donegan is through the final 2 corners in behind him though. The Irishman better come through the final corner. Can he go provisional pole? Yes he can. 12 flat. Good timing there from Gary Donegan across the line. And he's bettered by Verstappen with a 111.7. So goals nearly 2¼ tenths ahead. Verstappen compared to Gary Donegan. Very nice lap there by both of them. Verstappen first, Gary Donegan now second with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go out on track. Larkin not on a lap. We'll go on board then with somebody that is on an out lap and further up the track. We'll go back on board with V5HRL. So the Brit, of course, current GT Sport leader in the championship standings. I think he now leads that by 26 points, if I do recall, coming into next Wednesday's race, which I won't be there for, sadly, because I am away somewhere out all day, so I won't be attending for that. V5HRL, though, through Sachs Curve, now coming through the final couple of corners, and I've got to be honest, V5HRL has done a great job so far. 13.6 isn't really a competitive lap in terms of some of the timings ahead of him, but if you can really nail this lap in a set of mediums, you should see this, and out lap was a 121.8 from V5HRL, and he just downed his ERS slightly. Is he going to save it up towards the straight, I wonder? Let's have a look. Through the first sector he comes. Very nice first sector from him. 15.9. Have a feeling he might have invalidated a little. We'll continue to ride on board with this. Very low. Yeah, I think he's done this. Oh, Gary Donegan has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane, and he's crashed, I think, coming out the pits. Or coming through turn 1. What on earth? He's been disqualified from the session. Didn't see that on stream, so I do apologise about that. Gary Donegan has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane while he was on a lap. Anyways, Larkin through the final couple of corners. Could go provisional pole. Not quite. Goes second in the 111.8. And now, with Gary Donegan disqualified and starting from the back, it really throws a bit of a bite into the cherry, really, here. With a minute to go in qualifying, we'll go on board with Dakar, who was on a lap. The Scotsman just coming towards the end of the middle sector. Running through the middle sector now. 49.5 through the middle is a very quick middle sector. Now coming into Sachs Curve once again. The Scotsman looking nice here in the Mercedes. Of course, representing Clean Vigour Racing, QVR for short. Dakar through the final couple of corners. The only Mercedes actually out on track here tonight. Dakar across the line is going to go pole with this. 111.756. That is, not a 111.757. Not like a Boeing, sadly, there, but there we go. But he goes for provisional pole, currently with a 111.7, but we're going to get quite a lot of action now coming through. Larkin is off track. He is invalidated, of course, after his lap, a 111.8 that was from Larkin, remember. Montana on a lap, Cantera on a lap, Doom on a lap, so we'll go on board then with main protagonists, Cantera, Doom and Montana. These will be the final laps really for the drivers out on track. Anybody coming across the line now will have time. Verstappen has not got any time. We are now up, 3 minutes left remaining for everyone to complete their laps and then retire from the session, and then either come into the pits, that is. Cantera now through the middle sector, looking very good. Now into the final sector. Spine goes quickest with a 111.6. Very difficult to read with the tarmac there, but Spine, Cantera, I think, is going to better this. He does, with a 111.5, really puts amongst the cat amongst the pigeons. Doom goes into third with a 111.6. How's Montana looking? Third for Montana. Third for Montana, 111.6. So Cantera and Spine have outdone him. Cantera and Spine have outdone him. While Ouija coming second. Neil's gone quickest with a 111.5. Sorry we didn't ride on board with that lap. While Ouija coming around the final corner now across the line. What a 12.2 goes ninth. Killer Blue, the final one to come across the line. Improving, but doesn't improve his position. So Killer Blue stays 12th. He improved by nearly a second there, I think, as well. We'll run you down the full grid order for qualifying. And coming into tonight's 50% race, 36 laps away from the drivers now. Neil takes pole position by 300th of a second from Cantera in second. Spine in third. Montana could have it all to do from fourth position. Only a 10th and a half off in fourth. Doom in fifth, less than 2/10 off. Dakar in sixth. Verstappen in seventh. Larkin in 8th, while Ouija in 9th, V5 Terrell in 10th. The top 10 separated by just over 9/10 of a second. YHYY, Killer Blue and Rick all getting laps in as well. Kooky Games crashing out, it seems, early out of the session. And Gary Donegan getting disqualified in the pit for blocking the pit lane. Why, Gary? Why? Anyways, we come into 36 laps here at the Hockenheimring, and I cannot wait for the drivers to excel here at the track. There's going to be plenty of overtakes. It's going to be short, sharp, snappy racing. That's what we like to deliver here in Division 1. Hopefully you guys are tuning in nicely to Division 1. Looks a bit overcast there out on track. Neil for pole position. Good prediction there by Morgan, I've got to say. Neil has got pole position here and still getting used to no traction control. Got trigger happy on the throttle, says Larkin, and that is why we saw him loser at the final corner, of course. Just remember not to take as much curb as possible and then to apply the power really on the exit of the corner rather than the entrance to the corner. It does gain you time and it does just shore up your setup a little bit too much. That's personal advice really from me. If you want to choose to ignore it, fine by me, but I'm just trying to help you along the way there with that. We come though into the formation lap. Do want to hear your predictions, by the way, in the comments section. With 15 drivers about to do battle out on track, I do apologise. It's 34 laps here. I thought it was 36. I don't know why. I thought it was 36. For your wins, put down in the comments section who you think's going to win. I'll tell you mine at the end. Let's have a look at the. Let's get all the detailed telemetry and map data up, and let's see what drivers have opted for tyres. They are the compound of tyres that they have qualified on. YHYY, Killer Blue, Rick, Kooky Games all on a set of hard compound of tyres. Gary Donegan starting from the back on a set of medium compound of tyres. Oh, and there's a lot of lag going on once again. Hopefully, as I say, it's not me that is doing this. Rick, if you can put in the comments who's actually the host, and that'll be much appreciated. But we come, of course, into the race. Oh, we've got, again, a bit of a glitch going on here. Cantera lagging a bit. It might be me that's lagging a bit, to be honest, guys. So I do apologise about that. I'll just try and fix it like that. Hasn't worked. This is a bit of a glitchy start, and I do apologise. But, end of the formation lap already. I'll tell you my top 3. If we can hopefully get to the start of the race. Neil will win, I think. Montana will be second, and we'll go Doom for third. There you go. Neil, Montana, and Doom, my top 3. The drivers now come round to start, or better start, the 34 lap race here at the Hockenheimring. As I say, it's going to be short, sharp, snappy racing here for the drivers out on track tonight. Hopefully no connection issues. We did lose our normal horse Rick to connection issues. He is back out on track, and he is here for the race. But the 5 red lights are about to go out very soon indeed. The 5 red lights then are on. We're about to go racing for round 14 of the championship. Lights down, away we go. Neil gets a very good start from the line. How's the start looking? Cantera comes across to block Montana, who could get a 2-for-1 down into turn 1. Montana and Cantera go side by side through turn 1. Everyone looked like clean through, and Neil has got the break early by 0.5 of a second. Cantera defending off Montana into second place, but Montana has gained on Spine, his other Swiss man. So fly through the first sector. Neil has got the break early. Looking further down the field, Gary Donegan is off wide. Not sure if there was contact there with Kooky Games. They might have been running side by side in the background. Neil, though, 0.4 leading down into the hairpin for the first time. How's everyone looking through the hairpin? Daka going up the inside of Larkin there for 6th position, trying to get the move done down the inside. Not quite, will just come in backwards. Side by side in the background, Kooky Games on the outside of Rick further down the field. Rick and Kooky Games go side by side, and fair play to Kooky Games, gets the move done right around the outside there of turn 7, and he's picked up another position as V4 Vetrol goes a little bit too deep into turn 8 there at the Mercedes-Benz grandstand section. Kooky Games trying to hunt around the outside of turn 11, not quite, but back to the front, and Neil leads the way by 0.5 of a second. Everyone's splitting out nicely. Kooky Games has lost the position to Rick further down the field, but towards the end of lap 1, very, very clean racing. But for the most part, as I say, Neil leads the way. 19.4 the lap in the first sector. So Neil leads the way. Cantera second, Montana third, Spine fourth, June fifth. Right on the back, actually, of Spine as he comes down into turn 2. Right on the back, the Spaniard of the Swiss man. Do apologise. June 1 on the back then of Spine as they come through the Parabolica section. Not to be confused with Parabolica, of course, in Italy. Gary Donegan has picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Doom is going down the inside here. We'll try and ride on board with this. Down the inside he goes, Doom. Right on Spine, a little bit of contact on the inside. Bit of banging wheels. Spine has got the exit on the outside of the corner. The side by side just going on in behind, I do believe there. Going through single file, actually. And Spine has lost position. So Doom has got the move done. He's up to 4th place. Gary Donegan's left the session. Not surprising, the VSC has been deployed. So VSC has been deployed, brings a little bit of a neutralisation period onto this race. And time for me to recover myself. Neil leads the way. Cantera second, Montana third, June 4th, Spine 5th, Larkin 6th, Daka in 7th with Verstappen, Marwigi, YHYY, Killer Blue, V4 Vetrol, Brick and Kooky Games. I'm going to try and get through this without the need of having to go downstairs for a few menthals. But do appreciate that I might have to take a break from commentary if nothing happens out on track. Neil, though, 3.5 leading the way. Of course, we are under this VSC. Better Go Racing, I think, actually, under the VSC. And right on cue, actually, we go back racing, and Neil holds the gap of 0.4, and Daka, in fact, has got a great VSC restart there on Larkin. That was through turn 1 into turn 2, and Daka has got the move done on Larkin. They better go side by side down the straight. DRS has been enabled once again. As they run down the straight now, Larkin on the outside line, Daka on the inside line. Just looks like he's got a little bit too much speed for the racing point. Verstappen trying to dive it down the inside, 2-for-1, not going to work into the hairpin. And Larkin keeps the position around the outside on Verstappen. A little bit of a good, honestly, a good look up down the inside there from Verstappen. Whoa, very, very close to contact there. Killer Blue and YHYY are fighting in the background. Killer Blue's got that move done. He's up to 10th place on YHYY. So the breath has gone past the fin. He runs very wide, actually, through turn 10 there into turn 11. While Luigi's on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen, of course, trying to hunt down the inside of Larkin, remember, at the hairpin. That's why you see Waluigi 4/10 off him, and now a little bit of a train possibly developing. Daka, Larkin, Verstappen, Waluigi, all within close proximity of each other. We come towards the end of lap 4 with the leaders. Montana set the new fastest lap of the race, and plenty of fastest laps of the race now being set. Literally changed about 4 times within 5 seconds there. Spine has now got the fastest lap of the race with a 16.5. So we now come through the second sector into the second sector once again. Neil leads the way. Cantera second, Montana in third. Has Montana got the DRS? It is going to cancel each other out because Cantera has also got the DRS ahead. But Neil's got a really good straight line speed setup. Again, gaining the time. Down into the hairpin we come. Cantera has a bit of a look down the inside, really late on the brakes. Larkin is around the outside of Daka in the meantime, and he's got the move done. That was down the inside on their camera angle, not on my camera angle, which didn't work with me there. Larkin is back up in the P6, so good move there by the Brit on his fellow countrymen. So Neil still holding that in front, 0.4 of a second as they come into the middle sector once, at the end of the middle sector once again. Now into Sachs Curve. Everyone very closely grouped still, and the whole field separated by 8.5 seconds out on track. This is how close racing can be here at Germany. I'm sure there's plenty of overtakes to come as we come towards the quarter stage of this race. Neil does lead the way at the end of lap 5, sets a new fastest lap of the race. Montana goes slightly quicker there. So Neil leads 0.5 of a second. Cantera second, Montana third, Duman fourth, Spine, Larkin. No real change to the order apart from Larkin and Dakar on that last lap. Everyone really within a nice proximity, and the top 5 just beginning to get away. 2 seconds of the gap now to Larkin from 5th to 6th. So that is going to be quite costly for the guys in behind if they're wanting to try and look. We'll go back on board actually with that battle, because Dakar is possibly going to have a look down the hairpin here. Down the inside, Verstappen in fact looking very late on the brakes, trying to go down the inside on Dakar, very late on the brakes, and the Dutchman I think is going to pull this off. Fantastic stuff from Verstappen, very late on the brakes, gets the move done, and the McLaren is through on the Mercedes. 2 QVR guys go side by side through there. Very nice stuff from Verstappen. Is up to P7 and also gaining position in the background. Rick is driving it down the inside of V5 HRL, who just had gained that position I think. Rick takes it back from him, so Rick is up to P12. V5 HRL now possibly losing out to Cookie Games here as well. He has lost out to Cookie Games. V5 HRL struggling. How's he got from wing damage? Let's have a look, see if we can have a closer inspection if the camera angle allows it. Looking from a wide out shot, it doesn't look like he is struggling. Might have just got caught in the grass possibly, which is why he might be struggling just slightly. Back on board with the battle for the lead. 5 cars within the same shot there, and 5 cars pretty much within 2.5 seconds of each other as we come into the middle sector once again. Lap 6 out of 34. Neil leads 0.4 of a second, but now Cantera a little bit closer to the action as possible. Is he going to try and lunge it down the inside late on the brakes? I wonder. The Spaniard, I wouldn't put it past him if he tries to do this. Cantera holding firm though, not going to attempt the move down the inside. Verstappen and Larkin going side by side. Verstappen trying to hunt around the outside actually. Larkin just gets the car up the inside. Verstappen gave him the space and he's got the move redone there. Larkin's back up into P6. Verstappen trying to have a look of course around the outside for not pulling it off. As soon as I say that, Verstappen's lunged down the inside on Larkin. We'll try and keep on board with everything if we can. Montana though is right on the back of Cantera, and now I think Montana beginning to ensure that his tactical mindset is beginning to come into play. Neil and Cantera might be just overworking their tyres slightly. Montana now beginning to close them down. The medium should last to around half distance. Of course, we did have that little bit of a period with the VSC coming out due to Gary Donegan retiring from the race. Not sure if that was somebody coming into the pit lane. Definitely wasn't. And Neil leads the way. Lap 7 out of 34. We're getting towards the quarter stage of this race. And Neil does still lead the way. There's not been many changes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the action so far out on track. But Montana right on the back of Cantera. This is the battle you are on board with. Second and third. Cantera actually hunting down on Neil as well. Again, not too close to Neil. Montana trying to have a look down the inside, thought about it, not going to go for the moves. Near side-by-side action in the background once again. Larkin this time around the outside on Verstappen. Verstappen did pull the move off on Larkin. He's going to try and get the traction off the corner, and he's going to be side-by-side through turn 8. Larkin can pull this off. It would be fantastic if he can, but I think the Dutchman is just going to hold firm. Down the inside goes Larkin, however, on the brakes. Bit of a lock-up from Verstappen, and a beautiful move there from Larkin. Down the inside, and Verstappen, that lock-up just cost him, I think. Larkin gets the move done. He's back up to P6. The mid-pack battle really starting to hot up. But the battle for the lead also beginning to hold up as Cantera, I think, is close enough as ever. Let's start that again. Cantera has been so close here, as he has been, I think, in this race. I think it's as close as he's been in this race. That's what I was trying to get at. Cantera 5/10 off. It was 3.5 off just coming through. Jim just nicking out of the slipstream there, but these 5 again beginning to Constantina up a little bit. And they're still all within the same shot, which is good to see. Neil now about to come under attack. Cantera a little bit closer this time. Don't think he's going to be close enough running down the straight. You're going to have to watch on board with with Montana though. We'll take it from his point of view. Down into the hairpin, he's going to go late on the brakes down the inside. He wants to get past Cantera as soon as possible. Has a bit of a lunge, not going to work though. Montana holds on to P3. Larkin and Verstappen again going around the outside at the hairpin. Larkin and Verstappen. Verstappen has pulled off that move on Larkin down the inside at the hairpin that time. Must have sold him for a dummy to be down the inside. He was on the outside of the corner when we came on board. So Larkin Now down to P7, Verstappen up to P6. But all of this battling beginning to let Dakar and Waluigi into things. And don't discount Killer Blue, YHYY and Rick out of it either. There's a little bit of a group going on there. Cookie Games as well. V4HRL just off the pace slightly, but if everything starts going and battles ahead, V4HRL will start to get into it. He's on a set of medium compound tyres. The hards, I think, will be starting to come into play very shortly indeed. Well, not now, the 34. And Neil does lead the way from Cantera. Montana, Doom and Spine filling out the top 5 down into turn 2 once again. Been great racing so far out on track. Not many moves, but when the moves have been pulled off, it's nice and clean. That's what we like to see. Montana now hunting on Cantera. Again, that straight line speed setup now beginning to favour him. Is he going to try and lunge it down the inside this time? I think just with him trying to lunge it might be sort of one-off, one-on scenario. He might go for lunge one lap, he might not go for lunge the other lap. Larkin down the inside again on Verstappen. Very hard and firm racing between these two throughout tonight. YHYY was just about to get Cookie Games, Killer Blue in the background there, but he just made a mistake in the background shot. Verstappen is up to P6 once again, holding on to that position quite firm. Montana on the back of Cantera as we come through. It's still short, sharp, snappy racing here in Hockenheim. When everyone comes into the pit, it's going to be so interesting to see the strategy, how these guys are going to pan out. None of the top 5 are into the pits yet. We should be expecting them from around lap 12, I would imagine. Until lap 10 of 34 we go. We slowly approach the halfway stage here. Looking at the penalties, let's see. I don't think many people have picked up penalties. There's 2 warnings there for Neo and Cantera. Montana's picked up nothing. Doom has picked up 2 warnings. Spine has picked up 2 warnings. Verstappen's picked up nothing. Larkin has picked up nothing. Dakar has picked up nothing. Luigi's picked up nothing. No penalties for Killer Blue. No penalties for YHYY. 2 penalties for Cookie Games. Nothing for Rick and nothing for V5HRLs. Montana tries to hunt around the outside there on Cantera in the background. Cantera just holding on once again to Montana. That was just a quick run through the penalty situation while there was a little bit of calm in the action. Doom has set the new fastest lap of the race, however, and he's right on the back actually. Let's go on board with Doom. He is now on the back of this, and the top 5 separated by 1.7 seconds out on track. This is going to be so interesting, you know. This could be a potential race of the season candidate. I'm feeling it now. I am feeling it now. It could be a race of the season candidate. Get Division 3 into here right now. Neo does lead the way. Cantera, Montana. Again, nobody coming into the pitch from the top 5. Very wide exit there from Neo. Cantera just trying to bridge the gap slightly down the straight, not going to be close enough down into turn 1, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty there on the exit of the corner. Might just need to be looked at by the steward. Cantera, don't think he should have really picked up that. If he picked up a warning previously, then maybe, but who knows. I think he could have a bit of a warrant there to try and actually get that removed. Montana, 2.5 tenths off. Down the straight he comes, right on the back of Cantera. He's now going to lunge it down the inside. The Swissman makes contact with the back end of Cantera. The side-by-side Montana could have it done here, you know. The Swissman on the Spaniard. They go side-by-side, locked together as one. Montana trying to go around the outside into the Mercedes-Benz section. Around the outside he goes. He goes way too deep into the corner. He just loses it on the AstroTurf slightly as well. Nearly came across into Doom and Cantera slightly. He's lost out on that Montana. And Cantera holds on to second place. Montana, though, worthy to go up the inside there. Now Doom comes under a little bit of pressure from Spine and behind, and Spine is probably just sitting there lapping it up at the minute and just thinking, well, if these guys battle ahead, I'm in a primary spot. As the leader is in, Neo is into the pits down there on the inside. We just saw that on the camera angle. Neo is into the pits, so we're right on board with this. We're going back on board with the action, of course. Just after this pit stop, Dakar is into the pits, Verstappen into the pits, so clearly lap 12. On to lap 12 we go, and I was pretty much picture perfect with how these tyres actually do go. Neo on for a set of hard compound tyres. They can get to the end from here. 22 laps can be done. Montana on the back of Cantera running down the straight. This time, surely it's going to be close enough for Montana. Is he going to try and dummy him down the inside? I wonder. Yes, he is. He's going to lunge it down the inside. Cantera gives him the space on the exit. Cantera holds on, and Montana just wants to pick up the slipstream on the exit of the corner, and Cantera holding on to that position nice and firmly out on track. Great racing, good stuff out on track by a majority of the guys This is fantastic stuff, and this is building. This race is building up for a rest of the season candidate. I will guarantee you that now. If I don't guarantee you it, then it's not a Jamesy guarantee. There we go. Cantera leads the way, 3.5 tenths the gap. Montana in second, Doom in third, Spine in fourth. Neo has rejoined in 11th position. Cantera is going to come into the pits, so he responds, he's into the pits. Doom I think will come in next lap, Spine is in as well. So Cantera and Doom, 2 out of the top 4 are into the pits. We'll go on board with Cantera and we'll go on board with Spine, of course. Larkin, Waluigi into the pits. So the medium's not really lasting long. The hards, I think, can last anywhere between 17 and 19 laps, I do believe. Cantera out of the pits on a set of hards. Spine out of the pits on a set of hards. It's been held up, actually, coming out the pits slightly. And Neo has got them both. So Neo, in fact, has got a much more comfortable lead over Cantera for sure. Viva Veteral pulls himself in between Spine as well. And there's Verstappen, who has suddenly got into this. The undercut quite potent as Montana is now under pressure from Doom just slightly. These two will be coming into the pits, I would imagine, this lap. We'll go on board though in the meantime with a set. Oh, Rick trying to go around the outside, goes way too deep. That was never going to work. Goodness me, it was like W series trying to go around the outside there. Rick nearly pulled off the move. He was just a bit too late on the brakes. Kuki Game is possibly coming across him a little bit, just ensuring he doesn't get the run into the corner, and Rick holds on to that 6th position for now, trying to get 5th of course as a result. But Montana and Doom will watch these very closely. Are they into the pits this lap? Will they be into the pits this lap? Yes, they will. Both of them into the pits. So Montana leads them into the pits. Nearly dips a wheel into the gravel there. Doom into the pits as well. So 14 laps in as we slowly approach halfway. Watch on board with Neo. There is Neo coming out the final 2 corners. He's going to get these guys quite easily. Montana into the pits. He's going to go on for a set of hard compound of tyres. He's got ahead of Doom. There is Neo flying through. Camera shot now. There he goes. And Neo is into the net lead of the race. And so, actually, is Cantera. And Cantera is intranet second coming out of the pits. So Cantera has jumped Montana out of the pits. Cantera now into second, Montana into third. The undercut, very potent round here at the Hockenheim. Neo right on the back of Rick in the meantime. Is there going to be any work here from the Finn to try and defend this position down the inside? Neo on the outside. Killer Blue and Wyatt battling out for the lead in the meantime. Rick trying to go down the inside. Oh, and Killer Blue. What on earth has happened there? He's lost it on the inside of the corner. What on earth has happened there? Didn't see that off the camera angle. Just saw the DNF pop up and the retirement. What on earth happened there from Killer Blue? That was so strange. It's almost as if his car disappeared straight away. Very strange one on me. Hopefully Killer Blue can come into the comments and just talk about that. I'll check on Discord as well after the race. Cantera is right on the back of Montana though. Much fresher tyres for Cantera. A lot warmer tyres compared to Montana at this stage. Kuki Games does lead the way, but for how long? He will have to pit very shortly indeed, I would imagine. Neil should get him through the final corner. Killer Blue left the session. Not sure if it was contact possibly with Kuki Games, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to pick up on that one later on. I wish there was a replay feature so I could have a look after the race for you guys and give my opinion on things. Stackers picked up a 3-second time penalty. Spine right on the back of Vipo Etrol. But what I want to ride on board with is this battle for second. This net battle for second, I should say. Ouch. Look at this. Kuki Games is out of the way. Rick is out of the way as well. Both of them going to go side by side. Kuki Games parks it on the inside of Rick. Going to hold up Montana, who tries to ensure the wider exit from the corner. Cantera's right on the back of this as well. We'll go on board with Montana, who is hunting now on the inside of Rick. Down the inside of turn 7, now on the outside of turn 8. He's going to make it look quite easy. Bit of contact there actually on the outside of the corner. Rick trying to hold the line. Montana, I think, trying to cut across a little bit too early there. I've got to be a little bit picky. He was just trying to come across the line and Rick was still up his inside, and he's going to try and lunge it, I think, down the inside. Montana, knowing him, he's probably going to get quite frustrated because he's now losing out, and these guys behind are losing out because Kuki Games and Rick have just thrown themselves into each other, and a bit more contact there. Rick holding everyone up. Montana and Cantera, honestly, this is going to add another dimension into the race. On to lap 16 out of 34, we're just shy of halfway. Neil does lead the way, and it's about 2.2, 2.3 seconds between himself and Montana for the net battle of the lead out on track. Rick is still very, very belligerent here, trying to hold up Montana and Cantera as much as possible. This is Neil's race for the taking, surely. Montana is on the back. Kuki Games getting out of the way slowly. Rick and Montana. Is Montana trying to go down the inside? Pretty much like a box effect nearly there. Kooky Games and Rick just defending off each other. They make contact ahead. It's all getting kicked off here. Montana and Cantera are being held up here. This is honestly quite strange. Montana lunging it down the inside. Oh, that's fantastic stuff. And Cantera's through as well. Both of them pick the right point down the inside there. That is fantastic. Fantastic scenario reading there from both Montana and Cantera. They are out of the traffic finally, but at what cost? At what cost have they been cost? And now June is involved in that little bit of a traffic train with Rick and Kooky Games as well, going slightly slower ahead. We are into halfway then. Kooky Games outside, lets June through. June down the inside, he's up to P5 through the last corner. Kooky Games still trying to defend this. Trying to get him back down the straight, not quite. But through halfway, Neil leads 2.4 seconds as a result of that traffic hold up between Rick and Kooky Games. Have a feeling some choice words might be used after that for Montana and Cantera. Rick now into 4th, June in 5th, slightly held up by the traffic, but not as much as what we would have imagined. He could lunge it down the inside. He was getting quite close. Down the inside possibly goes June on Rick. Not going to commit the move down the inside. Spine and Verstappen for position, fighting it out for 7th and 8th. Out on track, and Spine's got the move done. The Swissman down the inside. Apologies about that. Spine down the inside of Verstappen gets the move done. He's up to P7, and that is June going around the inside of Rick. Down into turn 8. Should get the move done. He's picking the 3-second time probably as a result of that as well. Kooky Games goes wide, but June has mastered Rick. Has got the move done. He's now into 4th position, where he should be out on track, and he has got 2 lap pressure tyres on Neo, a lap pressure tyres on his teammate, so that might be interesting to read towards the end of the race. But Neo, this race is looking like him. Are we going to see a home win out on track? Rick has made a mistake out wide at the final 2 corners, let everyone through, Kooky Games including there. So the homeboy does lead the way. The German leads. Neo at his home track leads here at the Hockenheim Ring. 2.5 seconds of gap, and he is going to be chancing like Christmas has came early here. The German is going to be so happy at this stage, but he's got to maintain that focus, got to ensure that the focus is maintained towards the end of the race. Cantera now on the back of Montana, trying to close in down the inside. Not going to be quite close enough. Spine has already mastered Kooky Games down the inside. Into the hairpin we come, and Spiner's got the move done. He's up to P5. Verstappen nearly into the back end there of Kooky Games, and now this mid-pack beginning to get held up slightly. Rick just throwing his hat into the ring. Larkin and Daka might just feel heavily adjudged by this. Verstappen now is the one getting held up by Kooky Games. Could call it a Kooky trend, but Spiner's just in front of these two, and Verstappen trying to lunge it down the inside, possibly into turn 11. Kooky Games defends the inside line. Just, if I've got to be honest, forces him off onto the grass slightly. He was in front of him, but it's just meant, I think Verstappen was trying to get the run off the corner, trying to get the inside line. Kooky Games finally into the pit. Thank God for everyone else, I think, out on track. They're not going to have any more traffic as Rick into the pits as well. No, Rick continues on for another lap. Neo, 2.4 seconds, holding the gap nice and firm in the lead. Montana in 2nd, Cantera in 3rd. As Larkin has mastered Rick out of turn 1. Much better exit through turn 1. Gets the move done. He's up to P7. Goes Larkin on Rick. And Daka's right on the back of this as well. Just going to try and access the comment section, see what you guys have been saying. Cantera is on the back of Montana. However, Rick right on the back of Larkin. Selden around the outside here. The Brit doesn't want to be held up in the traffic jam, and Larkin holds it up the inside. It's side by side on the exit of the hairpin, but Larkin has got the move done, so Larkin maintains that P7, which he rightfully earned. He's up to P7 as a result. Rick just lagging slightly. That might be why we've been seeing a bit of lag here on the stream earlier on. Back on board with the battle for 2nd though. Cantera's on the back of Montana. 4/10 of a second as they come through Sachs Curve once again. This race has been quite thrilling to watch. Let me tell you how Division 3 has been getting on as well. And they've just came to the end of the race actually. Big W1, a lady 2nd, Mr. Wouter in 3rd. So that's just a bit of a brief update there on Division 3. Just for you guys who might be tuning in and don't want to watch Division 3 and can't wait to see the result. There is the top 3 result. Of course, official, unofficial results out there. But Neo does lead the way. 2.4 seconds left, 20 out of 34. I begin to struggle with my voice. Everyone has split very nicely indeed. So this is now really a duel for second place between Montana and Cantera, and possibly Doom as well. I would discount possibly Spine of Verstappen, while Ouija and Dakar going side by side down into the hairpin. While Ouija, oh, bit of lunge down the inside there on Dakar. Might have just committed himself a little bit too much into the corner. I think he possibly would have got the move done anyways. So he's into P8, Dakar into P9 as a result of that. This is going to be fantastic. I'm going to clear my voice a little bit while we've got a break in the action. I'll be back in a minute. I'm back with a love heart in my mouth. There we go. Cantera right on the back of Montana as they come down the straight. Cantera not close enough to Montana here. Again, I do apologise. I've got a bit of flu and I'm trying to make through this as much as possible. I've got 13 laps to last, which is good. Neil, 2 seconds the gap. Montana beginning to drag Cantera back into this. And Doom, 2 seconds the gap. Maybe just holding fourth. Trying to protect himself from Spine, possibly. I wouldn't have P4. 2 Reynolds, 2 Spaniards running very strongly, as I say. Didn't see much of the slipstream, I've got to be honest, from qualifying, which was good to see from my point of view anyways. I know there's been a bit of a debate about it in the Discord tonight. And yeah, I probably felt like the minority in much of that, but I don't know, it's just one of those, it's like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. Yeah. Neil, 1.9 seconds leading for Montana in second. Cantera in third with Doom in fourth, Spine in fifth, Verstappen sixth, Larkin in seventh, while Ouija eighth, Dakar in ninth. Cookie Games, Rick, V5HRL and MyHYY still going around out on track. 15 drivers started, 13 still remain, and we've got 12 laps to go here at the Hockenheim Ring. Cantera again closing up onto the back of Montana, not going to be quite close enough. Larkin getting close to the back of Verstappen in the meantime. These two running down into the hairpin once again. Larkin not pulling off the move. V5HRL has picked up a 3-second time penalty. I have a feeling that might have been through turn 1 or just on the exit of turn 3 maybe. Cantera is on the back still of Montana, as I say, 0.5 of a second. The gap, really interesting race has developed up to be. Neo really in tune with that. In that, he read the situation right. That's why Neil, you're seeing him out in front, leading. Montana is in second, Cantera is in third, and 0.7 of a gap separating. And if anybody is tuning in expecting me to ruin the qualifying result, I don't even know it myself. I'm just trying to maintain myself from seeing out on track who actually got pole position in Brazil. But what we should be focusing on, of course, is the action happening out on track. Montana has got lap pressure tyres than Cantera, maybe just using that to great effect now, just pulling away slightly, running down into the hairpin once again. Neil doing very well, yeah, Mark coming in there saying Neil doing very well. What happened was, Cookie Games and Rick, if you've been watching, Cookie Games and Rick have been essentially a bit of a traffic jam in amongst the net battle for the leaders. That was earlier on in the race. So they spread them, they essentially held up both Montana and Cantera and let Neil get away, plus the undercut. I don't think it would have mattered really if they got through quite sensibly first time of asking. But Montana and Cantera got held up and now are trying to get themselves back into this. And it's a bit like put me to like a cycling mind frame here. It's a bit like the chase pack going after the leader. It is now like that. It's essentially like the leader of the race with the peloton in behind. It's simple as that. Cantera on the back of Montana though, 0.5 of a second as they come now down Do Parabolica once again through turn 4 and 5. 4.5 tenths running down into the hairpin. Larkin and Verstappen looking very close though in the meantime. Oh, this is going to be job done already. Larkin has got the move done on Verstappen. No chance there for Verstappen to try and fight this back. And Larkin has got the move done. He's up to P6, so good stuff there from Larkin. Dakar is getting... why on earth I was going to say something else. Well, Luigi right in the back of Dakar in the meantime. 4/10 of a second as they come now down towards the Mercedes-Benz section once again. Again, looking great out on track, most of these guys. And it's been very, very clean, apart from possible contact between Kuka Games and Gary Donegan. I'm not sure if that can be confirmed. I don't think it was contact, if I've got to be honest, but if it was, then obviously that might need to be looked into. I've just caught the end of that on lap 1, I think it was, as a result, and that's why Gary Donegan out of the race on lap 1. So, just 9 laps to go. Neil leading the way, holding that gap, maintaining that gap nicely. At 1.5 seconds, Montana second, Cantera in third. But what I'm going to ride on board with is Verstappen and Larkin. 6 and 7, both of them excelling themselves here tonight, I've got to be honest. Larkin and Verstappen have been going hammer and tongs pretty much throughout this race. Both of them don't like to let up. Whenever there's a battle, these two do not like to let up within a battle, which is great to see. That's what League of Europe will be promoting, of course, going forward. And again, you see, this is how close it's been pretty much between them. Whenever I've been on board with them, it's 2.5 tenths between Larkin and Verstappen constantly. And Verstappen and Larkin are always going side by side down the straight. It's fantastic. It's been a real good one-on-one battle. You always get one around here at Hockenheim. You get that one-on-one battle that really excels the race and really takes it to the next level. This has been that tonight. Larkin might be pulling away from him now, but trust me, Verstappen with this pace will get back into this, and he's doing a great job. Both of them are doing a great job. And they're not too far off, actually, Juman's spine. And with the penalties, you never know. And June picking up another one. Speaking of penalties, he's picked up, I think, 3 now out on track. I'll have a check, actually, through the penalties situation. Neil has got 1 penalty. Montana has got 1 warning. Cantera's got a penalty. So Doom has got a penalty, 2 penalties as well. So 2 for Doom, 1 for Spine. Larkin has picked up none. Verstappen has picked up 1. Verstappen closing in on the back of Larkin in the background, not quite. 1 penalty for Dakar. 2 warnings for Waluigi, hasn't picked up anything. Kuka Games has picked up 4 penalties. Rick has picked up 2. FIFA HRL has picked up 2. And YHYY has picked up none, which is good to see. So that's a bit of a penalties run down there for you guys. Second time we've done that in the race. Doom just went slightly wide there than expected. And now the gap for the lead begins to come down. We'll focus on board with this for now. 1.1 seconds now between Neil, Montana, Cantera. 1.7 really between the top 3. Doom could close in this if they begin to battle. You never know, this could be quite interesting. This could be, what to say, rest of the season candidate. It's gotten all a bit flat, really, from me saying it was going to be rest of the season candidate. It's definitely not amongst that yet, but then again, we've still got 7 laps to go, and anything can still happen here in League of Europe Division 1. With Neil leading the way by 1.1 seconds. Cantera again, closing up onto the back of Montana, not quite. Kuka Games picks up his 5th penalty of the race, so 5 penalties now for Kuka Games. Cantera on the back of Montana, 4.5 tenths of the gap to come down into the Mercedes at turn 8. Into Mercedes at turn 8, I should say. I've been probably calling that quite a few different variants of name. It's just Mercedes at turn 8, I think it is. Cantera, 5 tenths. Oh, now 1.5 seconds separating the top 3. Neil beginning to come back. Maybe the tyre life beginning to go in his tyres. He might have gone aggressive from the front, which is why he was maintaining the gap early in the stint. But now Montana and Cantera beginning to sense a bit of a weakness, I feel, from Neil. And if Neil can pull this off, it'll be fantastic. It'll be a lights to flag victory for Neil if he can pull this off. He has got a penalty to boot, though. Montana has got nothing. Cantera's got 2, I think, if we read that rightly. But 1.5 tenths separating the top three. This is anybody's game, really. And with 6 laps to go, it's time to make your move, really. If you want to try and win this race, it's time to make your move. It's time to make your move now and use up that ERS. Verstappen in the meantime, and Larkin, as I said earlier on, needs to have been going at it once again. Larkin goes a little bit too deep on the inside, and Verstappen has read that brilliantly. Down the inside now into turn 7. He should get the move done, and he has done. So Verstappen up to P6, gets the move done through turn, the exit turn 6 the hairpin, through turn 7. Verstappen is through, he's up to 6th. Fantastic stuff. Daka and Marwiji now battling out, and Kuka Games and Rick, who've been going out at hammer and tongs. The traffic jammers, as I'm going to call them here tonight, Kuka Games and Rick. But Kuka Games on for his first point of the season, I do believe, which is fantastic stuff. YHYY and V5H are all going at it as well. Fit forced off track. V5H all picks up a 3-second time penalty. I feel that needs to be removed, to be honest. Looking at that. A load of battles begin to happen. I'll try and keep up with everything if I can. Montana 7 tenths behind Neo, and Neo is just beginning to stabilise that gap again. So maybe there was just a slight mistake earlier on from Neo. Montana, Cantera getting close once again, but not close enough. And there's about a second separating the top 3 now as they come into the hairpin once again. On lap 29 out of 34, we will have 5 more laps after this one to go. And Neil still leads the way. I'm going to just quickly go on board with Waluigi, who was dabbing it up and lunging it down the inside of Daka. The Belgian and the Scotsman make contact, and I think Waluigi there, full credit to him, he was down the inside maybe a little bit too aggressively. Daka has held position, he's up to 8th place. Waluigi down to 9th. So I think good sportsmanship shown there really by the Belgian. Just try to go for a move that really wasn't his, and he's backed off rightly so. He's now in 9th position, but that's what we like to see. That's the sort of driving that any league should be promoting, I think. 5 laps to go, still anyone's game. Neo, Montana, Cantera find it out. These top 3 have been at this and pretty much at this gap for quite a long time out on track. Honestly, it was going great out on track. As I've got a love heart in my mouth and I'm trying to get through this commentary without coughing or anything like that. Larkin ran the back of Verstappen, going to wait for the DRS it seems. The Dutchman and the Brit going at it. And Montana lunging it down the inside of Neil for the lead of the race. We came up with that late. Neil now on the outside line. Montana though has got the lead of the race. He lunged it. As I say, go for your move now. Neil going to try and lunge it again down the inside, not going to go for it. Montana has got the move done, and with penalties on his side, he leads the way by 0.3 of a second. We missed that sadly. We missed the lead up into that sadly, so I do apologise about that. But Montana has got the lead, 0.3 of a second. Neo in second, Cantera in third, and Cantera possibly looking at Neo, thinking, well, I've got 2 penalties, you've got 1. 3 seconds is all I need. If these two begin to battle, Cantera could pick up 2nd place, I think. But it's only if he get on the back, and he's not beginning. He's just struggling to get onto the back of these on down the DRS straight through into turn 2. Montana holding firm out in front there, 6 tenths, and Neo under pressure. The tyre light beginning to go for the German. The Spaniard now beginning to close him up. Montana is just going to maintain the lead, I think, down into the hairpin. Neil not going to lunge it down the inside, and they go single file through like a line of pegs on a washing line. Montana, Neil and Cantera go through the hairpin pretty much in unison, in single file there. Montana, Neil, Cantera still your top 3. June beginning to close this up though. He's got 17-18% of ERS coming through the end of the middle sector now. Oh, very nice actually on the sector time there, 51.3. Montana, Neo, Cantera top 3, but June beginning to just sneak into this maybe. He's got more penalties than the guys ahead. Oh, Cantera just runs wide there through turn 16. At Sud Curve I think that was. Cantera now through into turn 1. Again on the back, the Spaniard. But the Swiss man, the flying Swiss man, leads the way. 0.8 of a second. Neo in second, Cantera in third. He made his move stick at the right moment, I think. and he's going to make them pay for it. Montana still leads the way, 9/10 nearly the gap. That gap reduces, of course, down the straight. Neo, Cantera getting close enough, not getting close enough. They are. Waluigi and Dakar still going at it further down the field, 8th and 9th currently out on track, and the Ferrari right in the back of the Mercedes here. Zafulsi trying to get that 8th position. Waluigi, of course, currently 2nd in the championship. It looks like, well, it is going to be still the same after that, so Waluigi will be losing points to Neo, but that is going to be the battle for 2nd into next week's race at Abu Dhabi. Kuki Games is down the outside line of Rick into the hairpin in the meantime, and the Slovenian tries to go around the outside into the hairpin, gets a better exit, and Kuki Games and Rick going back at it again. Rick, I think, is just going to hold them off for now. Down into turn 8 they go. Yeah, Rick will hold him off on Kuki Games. Good to see Kuki Games just picking up a penalty there on the inside. I think that's the 6th of the race. Penultimate lap then in Germany. Montana leads. Can Neo try and find something special? All he needs really is a penalty for Montana, and then it's game on. Hopefully we do. I really hope for you guys, the viewers, and I really hope for the entertainment factor that we do get Montana with a penalty. I really want that. It'll be fantastic. It'll just add another element really into the race. With 1.5 laps to go, Montana 4/10 of a second, just trying to break the slipstream with Neo closing him down. Cantera doesn't look like he's got the pace to close them up, maybe just waiting for them to battle, and then Cantera can pounce. He's got more ERS combined than both of them in front. Montana again just looking down the inside into turn 11 once again, trying to break that toe, just taking a different line compared to Neil. We're on board with Cantera as we come towards the end of the lap here, with the penultimate lap of the race and the final lap of the race about to begin. Montana leads the way by 6/10 of a second as they come through the final corner for the penultimate time. Onto the final lap we go. Montana leads the way, 6/10 of a second. Neo in second, Cantera in third. They've been like this pretty much throughout. And Montana made that move stick on lap 29 or 30 out of 34. Getting the move done, but he's under pressure once again. And if he is not belligerent with the DRS and he's not using up that ERS down the straight, Neo will begin to hunt him down once again. And look at the closing speed. Look at the closing speed of the German. He wants this. Oh, I thought he was going to go down the inside. He's going to try and master the apex nicely. Montana with the better run out of the corner, though, is just going to hold him off for now. A little bit of lag being picked up from Montana's end. Neo is trying to go around the outside here. Montana, I think he knows that these guys have got penalties ahead, and he's just trying to park the bus. Cantera is in this as well. Don't discount anything to happen as we come into the final sector on the final lap of the race. There's a lot of battling happening further down the field, which I'll come to in a minute. Montana still leads the way by 3/10 of a second. There's not really an opportunity now to overtake, so Montana is going to be taking this, it seems, out on track unless he makes a mistake through the final corner. The Swiss man is going to continue his fine run of form. It's going to be 4 wins in a row for Montana. Round the final corner, he will win here in Germany. Steals it from Neo. Cantera in third, both of them on the same penalties. Doom in fourth. They stay as they are, I think, with Spine coming across the line in fifth. Larkin and Verstappen all the way to the flag in 6th and 7th. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Not sure who that might be. Dakar holds off Waluigi. Good return there from Dakar in 8th. Waluigi in 9th. Rick in 10th. And yellow flag in Sector 1, Sector 2 is V5HRL. Rick coming across the line in 10th position will pick up the 3 points on offer. Kuki Games across the line in 11th. And YHYY will be across the line in 12th, but keep an eye on the penalties because I have a feeling that these positions might change. YHYY through the final corner, and yeah, that position did change. He finishes P11 as a wide arse car right on the screen there. YHYY coming across the line to finish in 11th, but that is it. The German Grand Prix over and done with for tonight. And it is Montana who takes the top step of the podium with Neo and Cantera, giving him something to think about. What a hard-fought race that was for Montana. Didn't have his way in qualifying, but he has his way in the race and makes up for it with that 4th position in qualifying, 4th place in qualifying. He gains 3 to win the race outright and extend his championship lead, which of course he's already taken. So Montana does take it here. The Storidos playing in the background. We'll give you the full running order, the official, unofficial results here in Liga of Europe Division 1 for round 14 in Germany. And that is it for tonight. Montana takes the win. 1:14.4 as current best lap. Neo in second, Cantera in third, Doom in fourth, Spine in fifth, Larkin in sixth, Verstappen in seventh, trying to get Larkin right at the end of the race, not quite with the penalty as well. Decker in eighth, good return from him, Waluigi in ninth, Rick in 10th, YHYY in 11th, Kuki Games in 12th. He does pick up that final point scoring position. V5HL did retire out on track very late on, and Killer Blue and Gary Donegan out the race very early on indeed. Let's see the reaction then to the guys out on Discord, out in the comment section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed racing that and seeing that on stream as well. Fantastic stuff. Let's have a look then and see what the reaction has been in the Division 1 chat. GG everyone, great racing, love that, says Larkin. Yeah, brilliant one-on-one battle, pretty much most of the race I think was carried by that battle, to be honest. It was fantastic stuff. GG to Neo and Montana, that is from Cantera, and GG guys from Verstappen, and GG from Neo as well. Plenty of GGs in the Discord, which is good to see, and GG to everyone out on track. Yeah, plenty of GGs, not the horsey GGs sadly, but there you go. See the final couple of comments here in the YouTube chat. Spine's in GG, good evening to Cecil. By the way, I did miss your comment, so good evening to Cecil. Hopefully you doing well tonight. Montana, GG, great race. Spine got held up in the pits, which I picked up on in stream. And then I was stuck in traffic. Would have loved to be in that top 3 fight. Yeah, traffic really was a bit of a bugger for some of the guys out on track tonight. But my pace was a bit too slow. Anyways, GG to the top 4, says Spine, and I'm sure qualifying you'll make up for it next time for sure. There has been a bit of a glitch in the lobby, so I will end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, next week we do go to Abu Dhabi for for the next round of the championship. Only 3 rounds to go. Belgium and Brazil after that. Hope you can tune in the bright night lights of Abu Dhabi Skyline in the United Arab Emirates. I better get my passport at the ready. Thank you very much though in the meantime. I've been James Head. Thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.